Section 2.2, Python in 30 minutes. Python is a simple and readable programming language so that you can understand its core in 30 minutes. It's an interpreted language so that you don't have to compile. In Python, variables are untyped. That means you don't need to define or declare the data type of variables before using them. Python supports object-oriented programming, and it is platform independent. This means that it can be used in various platforms, including Windows, Mac, and Linux. Overall, Python is a high-level language and very powerful, having a huge standard library. Here we have programming features. Python does not support pointers. Pointers sometimes make complications, and Python is designed for the easy access and convenience. Python code must be saved with .py extension. And here, a very important thing is indentation. Python is requiring quite clear indentation. Once you try to define a pluggable code, then it must be well indented. Once the code, the beginning point is back and forth, then it is not working. So indentation is very important. And you can use a hash symbol to add a comment, and also by using here triple quotes, and you can make multi-line comments. Here we have Python essentials, and there are main 3 data types: list, tuple, string. And list can be defined using square brackets, and as in this definition, li is now along with the square brackets. There are 4 entries. First one is a string, the second one is integer, and third one is a floating point number, and again, finally, we have an integer. You can make such a combination. Now, tuple is defined using parentheses, and now here we have 5 entries, and now second one is again another tuple. So tuple inside of tuple. String can be defined using quotation marks, that double quotation, single quotation, or triple double quotation marks. And as in this example, hello world, and with a single quotation marks, and double quotation marks, and triple double quotation marks. Now, for this list, tuple, and string, you can access the elements. For example, for list, if you try to access this first one, because the index starts from 0, so 0 means the first one here, and you can access it. Now for tuple, and this is tuple tu1, that one, and 2 is now the string A, and -2 means from the back, from end, there's -1 index, and for this one, index is -2, so that you can see 4.1. Now, for string, your st, and 25 to 36 is now the output is ng and return that is return key. You cannot see here, but it's a hidden return key. Looks like here 25 is now here, NG, and the hidden return key, and that use here. So that is now 25 to 36. Okay, the slicing must be well understood. Now for tuple 1 to 4, if you are using such a colon notation in MATLAB, then there'll be 4 entries. But here, this one is 3 entries. The reason is, now for this tuple, okay, slicing means like cut by using knife. So here you can cut here, you can cut here, you can cut here, here, here. But that is now a 0, cut this 1, 2, 3, 4. The cut is between entries, so that 1 to 4, from 1 to 4 means that from here to there, so there are 3 entries. Okay, so you can see here 3 entries. By the way, tuple, once tuple is defined, the entry cannot be changed, it cannot be edited, so that here you can access, however, you cannot replace, for example, this number. So it is like a permanent constant. Okay. Here are the plus and multiplication operators for list tuple string. If you are using plus and multiplication, then it's working in this way. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 lists are added, then now all together it is added. And for string hello, and now empty space and world are added, then here hello space world, and the tuple 1, 2, 3 multiplied by 3, then is 3 times duplicated. So that's the output. Okay. Now here, okay, we have A has a 3 element list of 3 elements. Now it is copied to B, and A, we try to append 1 more entry, but after copying, B is not touched. However, and now B has another entry appended here. So this here B equal A is not really copying these entries. In fact, B is in a sense another name of A, so that if A is changed, then B also simultaneously changed. And now here, if you are saying, okay, in this example, we'll use numpy and now iteration. Okay, if you're using range, that command along with a number, then it starts from 0 to 7. There are 8 numbers. Now here we import numpy as np, and here range and np size li. Okay, li in the beginning, the list has 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 entries, so that will return 4. So k is in range 4. That means that now k will be changed from 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's printing out li 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can see here the entries. Okay. Now if you want to copy real copy, then you have to use so-called deep copy. Okay. Now A is MP array having 3 entries. Now is copied to B, and C is a deep copy. This copy is renamed in a sense. Another name of A is B. Now C is a separate array copied. Now if you multiply 4, now this is now MP array, so that multiplication of 4 means for each entry 4 will be multiplied. The output of that line is same as that. A is changed into here. Now 4 is multiplied, so the 4, 8, and 12. Okay? So A is changed. If you try to print out, then it's the same because it is a kind of rename. But C is a real copy, so that is same as original one. Okay. Here we have frequently used the Python rules. If you want to write down multi-line, then you have to use this mark. But if you put in parenthesis or square bracket or that sign, then it can be considered as one line. So that here you can see if you print out, then the same quantity will come out. Now you can make multiple statement using that semicolon. So A is 1, B is 2, C 3 can be assigned in one line. Okay, here if you define a function, for example, this is a double and num. Okay, the function in the body is this one right now. Yes, and then okay. In fact, now that is comment, so that, however, that one has indentation, so that this is considered as a block, and twice of the number is returned. Now this portion is called docstring, and this docstring can be seen by using the here now the built-in method. Just for the function and dot 2 underbar dot 2 underbar, then you can see this portion that is output. Okay, here multiple assignment can be possible. ABC equal 1 2 hello, then it is saved here. A equal 1, B is 2, C is hello, and you can swap in this way BC and CB, so that the values will be swapped. So ABC is 1 2 3. Now BC are swapped, so that here the ABC result must be 1 hello 2. So you can see here in this way. Okay, now even though in Python programming we don't use type, however, inside if you check type, then it is implicitly determine the type. If you write down A equal 5 and B is 2.1, then if you try to find the type, then for A, type is integer and B is a floating point number. And also set can be defined as in mathematical term like this, so that this one is 2 and 3 are duplicated. However, if you try to print out, then B it will be 1 2 3 only. Is if it is duplicated, then here it is trimmed. And now this one, because it's ordinal entries, so that is ordered. Okay. Now in Python, you can make a dictionary. Now key value. For example, now here name and age. So that is key. That is value. So Alex, 21 years old. So the pattern is basically key and value. You can access this data in this way. This the dictionary name is D. So D, key 1. So along with that, and this whole thing will be the value 1. So that if you print out, then value 1 will come out. D Alex. Okay, D Alex, that is 21. So you can see here 21. D Seth, that is 22. Okay. Now output formatting is can be done various ways. For example, X is 5.1, and this is a floating point number, and Y is 10. It is an integer. Now, if you try to print out X and Y, this is format. Here, D means integer. X is considered as integer, and Y is considered as integer, and value will appear. X value considered as an integer will appear here. Okay, that one will appear here. This Y value will appear over there in the order. And this along with this sign, and first one, second one, and now first one, second one. Okay, and however, X is a 5.1, but it is considered as integer, so that it's changed into integer. So you can see here now 5, and that one is 10. For second one, now we change it into a floating point format. Then X is a 5.1, so that you can see this output. Now, if you don't know in the beginning the type, then you can use such symbols. Then, if you put this way, then the first one will appear here, the second one will appear here. So you can see now X is 5.1 and Y is 10. Now, but inside of this one, you can put the number like that in format, but you have to use this dot format here. Okay, in X and Y, this is in format, this is 0 position, there's a 1 position. So that this value will appear here, and that value will appear here. Because it's opposite order, you see opposite output. In Python, if you write down print command, okay, this is a practical print. This is a string and X number, and Y equal string and Y value. And here you can give a separator. So now default separator is the space. Now, and default end is simply new line. But now before new line, we try to put this sign. Then this printout is given, the output is given in this way: X equal and space here, and X is 5.1 and space, and so that the separator will appear here now. Originally it's a space, but we put separator that hash sign, so that X equal separator 5.1, separator Y equal separator, and the final one is 10. And now at the end, here make this mark and return. Okay. You can give user input by using command input. So if you write this code, then if this line is executed, then here enter any and waiting for you. So I write down Starkville. So because of this line, Starkville is printed out. Okay. Now looping and functions. Okay. Here, compose a Python function which returns cubes of natural numbers. Once a number is given, then this function, look at here the indentation, define a df and a function name, and that is argument, and along with a colon, and we have indentation. Usually in my program, I make 4 spaces, so that now begin with cubes and empty list, and now here for I is in range 1 to num plus 1, that means that this whole thing is including, in fact, okay, that is same as from 1, 2, and then here last one is num. Okay, num is user given number. For each number inside this list, the value is I cubed and appended to cubes. Start with empty. Now cubes are appended, so that is returned. So here that block is indented so that is this whole thing makes a for loop. Okay, so you have to give indentation very clearly, consistently. Okay, this portion is, okay, once it is executed, for example, Python get cubes.py, if you give such command, then now this file will be used as main, so that this name is now main, so it's used as a main program. Then this portion is executed. So it's asking you enter a natural number, and along with the number, and here get cubes, call this function and make the output and print out the result. Okay, and here we see here now Python get cubed py, the command is given, then it is asking to enter a natural number. I put 6, so that from 1 to 6 for each number, the cubed are here appended, so you see the output. Now this function can be used from another function, so that for example, call get cubes.py is implemented in this way. In the case we have to import get cubes, and now we call get cubes along with 8 here. So that rather than this portion, we call that one, and then here the cubes will be saved in this list, and we can print out. And along with 8, you see over there 1 squared, 2, 1 cubed, 2 cubed, 3 cubed, and then this one is 8 cubed. So you can see the result. Okay. Then this portion will be ignored. anyway. In this case, this function is the main, and then this is used as just supporting function, so that this portion will be ignored. Okay. It is end of section, but here in this portion you have to consider now the major ingredients of programming. There are 4 major ingredients. The first one is now looping. Looping is related with repetition. If you are dealing with huge data, then you have to deal with the data point by point, so that in any case you have to use looping. And now secondarily, in programming you will deal with conditional statement, so that along with a conditional statement, you can control the program much better way, and also the way you want. And thirdly, now here, and there is a functions. So that's the reason here in this subsection, looping and functions are treated. Now, functions are related with reusability. If you compose a program, then it should be reusable. And that means that for given task, you have to modularize the operations very nicely, and for each operations, the group of operations, you have to make a program and save as a function. In this way, you can enhance reusability, so that the saving and composing functions is very important. Finally, in programming, you have to deal with input and output very clearly. And that means also you have to deal with the data quite nicely. Sometimes you have to read the data from file, or sometimes you may get the data through internet directly. And now out, and if you can see the result through displaying on screen, or you can save the result into a file and use it for other operations. In that way, you have to deal with input-output very nicely, and you have to understand the various way of input and output. So these are major 4 things you will deal with through this semester. Okay, this is end of the section. Thank you.